Prediction. Josh and Alex will think this episode is mid, and as a result be forced to delete their online presence, change their names, and go into hiding.
Change her name.
It was this episode 4 to 5 pair where I realized that I really love this series. Although the first part was probably a slightly better episode, this conclusion was also really great, especially the moments between Adama and Apollo and the whole conclusion with getting Starbuck back, or Starbuck getting back. P.S. George R. R. Martin, the Game of Thrones author, was a big fan of BSG and blogged about it from time to time while the show was airing.
No fucking way, wow.
There's some overlap between the GOT and BSG fanbase, I think in part due to their realistic characterization, flawed heroes, villains who aren't thoroughly evil, and other similar gray areas, which contrasts with earlier shows that tended to make things very black and white. I agree with what he had to say for the most part here. The moments with Adama and Apollo, and then Adama and Starbuck in that episode 4. I mean, Adama's just my by far favorite so far.
Yeah, like, I love OG Adama, but this Adama is, starting to take place over. I mean, we have a special place in our hearts, I guess, because we watched the show for, like, a year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love all the characters. I'm just waiting for Baltar
to do something.
Yeah, I think I saw someone say that, think of it as a different Baltar entirely. Don't compare it, but it's like, you can't... You're going to have to compare it to him. Was going through an estrangement with my dad when this aired the first time, and the moment between Lee and Adama hit me very, very hard. And this is, in this as in everything else about Adama, EJO's portrayal is masterful. Watching him work is the best part of BSG. Absolutely. He is amazing.
Yeah, 100% agree. And, I think it hit us hard too, for sure. And how could it not? Regardless of the situation you're in personally, but I'm sure it hit extra hard with what you were saying there. But damn. The inside of the Cylon ship is ew. Makes you wonder what the inside of Lightning McQueen looks like.
Oh my god, why would you say that?
I've seen those memes before where it's like they open the door of Lightning McQueen and it's just like brains and stuff in there.
I've seen some creepy, like, not AI generated, but computer generated art of, like, Thomas the Train. Where it's like, imagine Thomas the Train but made out of people or something. It's like, why?
This show fucks. There you go.
You can take that both ways.
It was a tame and rather reserved entry into the series. I think you mentioned about the scene at the brothel being tame, so that makes me think it's going to get much crazier.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to say it. Not a huge GOT fan. I had friends pitch me the series for years, and the pitch always came down to it's full of nudity and violence. I don't think that's... I wouldn't sell it to someone based on that, but which... I'm a red-blooded man, but come on. I have an endless supply of action movies in Google. I'm sure Alex will find that frustrating, to say the least, as the series is full of some pretty incredible performances and plot twists. He put the words right out of my mouth. I can't even begin to predict how Josh will react. I will say this, the cast is a chock-a-block with amazing actors, and the series progresses. We get to see some standout performances. Winter is coming.
There you go, and just to clear it up a little bit, I would love to watch the whole series, but just like everything else we watch here, even though we picked this one ourselves and you already love it, it's still the case that, it does have to perform well, do well for the channel, and then we'll absolutely continue beyond the first season. I've already seen some comments on our reaction, the reaction itself, from patrons saying, oh, can't wait to see, what you think later on in the show. It's like, hopefully we get there.
Yeah, if it's just us and like 3 other people watching, I might, I feel guilty even watching things by myself at home, that aren't for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, the first episode, it's only up on Patreon, but it had pretty good reception. It had a lot of comments. It wasn't one of the ones we put up and it gets 2 comments, It did pretty well. There is definitely a section, at least of our Patreon community, that likes Game of Thrones, some crossover. That's what I was assuming. It's such a massive show, like how can there not be? The best debut for a series ever. The moment Jamie pushed Brian, I think the entire audience was like, holy shh.
Yeah, Bran, yeah.
Oh, Bran. I said Brian.
Brian.
Can you tell which one of us watched the show? Yeah, I liked it a lot. Best debut ever? What do you think about that? You just said after the first episode, your first time, you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, when I watched it with that first time, I was under that mindset that everyone loved this show, and me being not a hipster, but like, oh, everyone likes this, so it must be bad.
Contrarian?
Yeah, contrarian. Yeah, I was watching it the entire time under the contrarian.
Oh, even once you started watching that first episode.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm like, and then then I put my ego aside, and I'm like, shit, that was really good. I tried getting into the show at least 3 times, but kept falling asleep halfway through the first episode. I guess too much world building all at once. When I finally got past the first episode, I was hooked. Did you guys also find the info dump too overwhelming? I'll let you go first on this one.
I would say for the world, maybe a little bit in the sense of not that I was bored falling asleep, but that it's hard for me to like take all of it in, which is I think good to have you here for that. Or even if someone wasn't doing a reaction, I think this could be the kind of show that's good to have someone like you did with
Yeah,
your
yeah.
girlfriend. But character wise, I really liked it. How it introduced you to all the characters in very rapid succession. I liked that. But the world itself, yeah, like I'm not going to sit here and act like I can explain everything already. It was
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, I didn't want to take away what possibly the first episode did or can do on its own. And I thought the first episode did a good job of that, of slowly leading you on onto who these people are with their choice of words and choice of response to other people's questions, and the way they info dump or deliver exposition, like even simple things to explain the relationships, like oh, my dear brother, as your dear brother or whatever. When Jamie was talking to Cersei, I'm like, okay, little things like that is fine. And there's plenty of examples in the first episode, but I wasn't about to list out the whole fucking pull out a diagram. Here's the Starks, here's the Lannisters, here's the
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one moment I would say from the first episode reminded me of that was when the king arrives to the town and his wife is there with him and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go, see the body." And we don't know at that time, what he means, but the wife's like, "I think the dead can wait," because she's jealous, obviously. But it's a good way of revealing it that's not, "My wife is jealous," you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
did a pretty good job.
And then it reveals later on that it's Ned's sister and that he was in love with his sister. It's like, it doesn't like, I'm gonna go see my dead ex-girlfriend. That is Ned's sister.
Exactly.
Stay here, current wife. Ooh, save yourselves a bunch of wasted time and skip the House of the Dragon.
No. And for me, when I think back to when we watched Book of Boba Fett, I know put yourself all the way back then, right? But not watching The Mandalorian, I enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett, but all the stuff that was going on, I'm like, you know what I mean? Just like, huh? I don't know anything about House of the Dragon. Can people watch that and probably still enjoy it? Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm not gonna do that. I need to watch the original.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think House of the Dragon is set like thousands or hundreds of years beforehand, so you'd probably be safe. But still, I'd rather watch the whole, because I'm sure it rewards you. There's a little bit of a rewardment for watching the original Game of Thrones and watching House of the Dragon, because things they mention in the actual show you see happen in the show, I guess.
Gotcha. Yeah. Plus, with our schedule, watching a week by week show, I don't
Oh,
think so.
oh God, we've been there before.
Can't wait for the compilation of Alex's side eye looks to Josh before critical scenes.
I'm gonna be looking at him, and I'm gonna be looking at you, and Oh man, poor Bran. Luckily, nothing bad happens to anyone ever again in this fucking show. Just sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows for 8 seasons.
All right, we'll find out, I guess.
That's a true statement. I knock the show for being decaf Trek. Whoa. But in my limited viewing of the show, this is the best episode bar none. There are other good ones, but this checks all the boxes.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Decaf Trek. Huh?
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't at this point, right off the top of my head, after my first viewing, go that far. Like best episode bar none. I've loved a good number of episodes, but it's right up there. Like it's hard to, if someone said to me, name an episode we've seen thus far and tell me why it's definitively better than this one, like it's hard to do. I could probably make an argument for some of them, but yeah, I liked it a lot. That camera pan from Picard to Tasha where Worf stood just a second ago was epic. Easily one of my favorite episodes of TNG. Hope you guys love it too. Did you think you'll see Denise Crosby in Trek again? P.S. You know shit's about to go down when Guinan shows up. Yeah, you're typically in for a good one. I said I didn't think I'd see her at all again. So that was a pleasant surprise, and I agreed that they did the reveal well. The reveal of Tasha was really
Oh, it
well
was
done.
perfect. Yeah, the camera focus was great. Just wonderful. Yeah, I think Denise Crosby will be back again for some crazy reason.
Oh, you think she will be again?
I
Okay.
think she will. Yeah, I have a feeling. You have finally arrived at my favorite TNG episode. Denise Crosby absolutely sparkles. Also great scenes with Guinan and Worf and the others. Question: what do you think of Captain Garrett as a character and the actress Trisha O'Neill? I think you liked her. I thought she was fine. She was interesting. Cool to see that the captain of the sea was a woman. That's neat.
And that it wasn't just a dick. It wasn't just like
Oh
a
yeah,
generic asshole captain.
yeah. Justify. Just coming right off of a battle and just stern, good captain. But I like Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, he stepped up as Captain Will too
Yeah.
in his one scene that he got to be captain. And I'm not surprised this is their favorite episode. I think it's probably a lot of people's favorite. I wouldn't be shocked by that. The only thing that would be weird to me is a lot of times when I think of favorite, part of it that goes into my head too is like what kind of defines the show the best. Obviously, you've only seen up to this point, but it'd be weird because this is like a Tasha episode, so it's weird that this would be what defines it because she's not in the show. But yeah, no, I mean it's I'm not surprised at all. This is a Guinan episode that just happened to have a huge guest cameo. Not taking anything away from Denise Crosby, but Whoopi has some tremendous scenes and dialogue in this. I 100% agree. Her scene with Picard.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've been looking forward to this. I cannot wait to see your reactions from start to finish. Alex's head will explode when he sees Tasha. Well, you weren't wrong. You'll both be blown away by the timeline shift and how it explores how characters we have become to know well can become different people under different circumstances. Yeah, I think we had a good discussion about that. Just how crazy just some things change and some changes are huge, some are small.
And also, I gotta read his next paragraph too. Josh is gonna love the moody lighting and extreme camera work. Yes,
Ah!
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
And he says, with season 3, episode 15, I can proudly say, welcome to Star Trek. I kind of made a joke about that, but I was being semi-serious before we watched it when I was like, I guess we're starting Star Trek, because everyone was like, episode 15 on, episode 15 on, and I ended up really loving the previous episode, so maybe that was like the start, I guess. But yeah, a lot of people, I guess, it's going to be interesting to see the next episode, or like where it goes from here then.
Well, the next one's not that good. Can't wait for that.
This is it! The one everyone has been waiting for. As we lean forward in our seats and study your faces for reactions, will we be satisfied by your awe or devastated by your ambivalence or worse, rejection? Back in the day, they used to run a top 10 TNG marathon a couple times a year, and this was always in the top 5. IMO, this would have made a fantastic feature film. I said it felt like a film, yeah.
Yeah.
It is cinematic in every regard with acting, lighting, sound, music, effects, writing, all things. I love this one like it's my child. I agree with a lot of that, and yeah, imagine we didn't like this one. It's going to happen eventually.
It's going to happen.
I mean, there was Balance of Terror and Doomsday Machine and TOS. I'm trying to think if there's been like a super highly regarded one. People get so like, have we hated more than like 2 episodes of this series? Like, I feel like we thought Deja Q was good, but not excellent. And people were like, wow. It's like,
Wow.
like, it still was good. We haven't, been like, wow, we don't care for this one. Really, that's like a really highly regarded one, at least unless I'm forgetting one. But what a boon to have Patrick Stewart, who can convey how much more jaded and abrasive the altered timeline has made Picard. No explanation required. Dude has seen some shit. 100% agreed.
Exactly. He just nailed it. What did you think of the Enterprise C? Did you like the design compared to the Galaxy class Enterprise D? I like the bridge of the C. It kind of took me back to the movies a bit. And then one episode when Riker had to use that old ship
Yeah,
to do the training thing, with the
peak performance. Yeah,
performance, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was that. Like, I'm pretty sure they just reused it. Yeah,
They just wheeled it in, yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. I think I like the alternate D, like maybe the best, the new bridge D.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Sucks we won't see that probably for a bit.
It just really feels like if the people who made TOS designed the Enterprise D bridge, like that's what it reminds me of.
Rip, trust us. Season 3 gets better after this. That's in quotes. April 18th, 2024, June 10th, 2024.
Yeah, is that the case? Have we finally made it?
As the show started, God, 2 years later, back when we were on episode The Man Trap, they were like, "Oh, don't worry, guys. Star Trek gets good on season 3, episode 15."
No, but yeah, really loved this one, and I really hope that, a lot of people said it's their favorite in all of TNG, like that's awesome, but I really hope we can get, they say it's almost every episode, but I hope we can get 4, 5 more in this season that I feel like is on, the level of this one, what I thought of the previous one, the Defector of the Enemy, the really good ones we've had so far, because if so, this could end up replacing, in my opinion, what has been the best season so far of Star Trek, which I still think is the original series, season 1. in my opinion. Could this replace that? We have what 11 more episodes to find out, so I'm excited.
Yeah, really quick, since it's fresh in my head, about the beginning of the episode being a teaser for the rest, with Guinan and Worf talking about, companions, like, oh, it has to be like a strong woman. Human females aren't strong enough. You think that was like a hint, like, well, there is one female that's strong enough.
Oh yeah,
And that's Tasha Yar.
I'm sure she could have been too.
Yeah.
What a great couple. Remember in her last episode when she died, that their little moment at the beginning about him betting on her. Remember?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun discussion. But can we start talking about the Acolyte now?
No, we're not watching that shit. Will write my patron shake soon. Soon, just let me finish throwing myself against the wall, crying and screaming. Yeah, that was one of those ones. Also, I forgot to mention, like, you knew it wasn't going to end well from beginning to end. It's like, I doubt this person was going to be there the entire time.
Knowing that it's episodic, did I know she was straight up going to die? No, but I just for some reason had a feeling, and unfortunately was correct. And that holding hands scene, that should be a scene that makes me feel really happy, which it did to an extent. It did its job, but I was like, I'm filled with dread. I'm like, this, please don't do this, and they did. They could have had her just go off somewhere, maybe the open possibility she returns one day. I was thinking when they went back into his room, maybe it's like a Han Solo, like they freeze her or they keep her for when he can fix her, but no, just dies. It's like, oh.
Here's another android that can take care of her. Laura walks in.
She'll come with me. She's leaving the Enterprise, but not with you. If you don't shed a tear on this one, you are either a sociopath or not human at all. That being said, I think the Admiral at the end was not only shaken by the experience, but also very remorseful for his actions. Superb acting on his part on that scene.
Yeah, just for that scene.
Yeah, I think it really was like a great, if you're going to try to redeem a character at the end, it was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for my life is one of the most heartbreaking lines in media. That was the one where it's like, oh, God.
That one's good. I think her last line about the both is even harder hitting, but the whole scene. A genuinely, brilliantly rounded performance from Haley Todd as Lal. Devastating in its conclusion. So many moments have remained with me for 30 years. And I agree with the first 2 points there. As far as remained with me for 30 years, I'll have to wait and see, but I can't see how it wouldn't. I can't see, it's early, but I can't see how, when this journey eventually ends, right? I'm talking about us catching up, this one being in my memory. Like, I don't see myself in 6 months or a year being like, The Offspring. Oh, yeah. Like, this isn't one of those,
Yeah, it's one that doesn't leave you,
Yeah.
Commander, what are your intentions towards my daughter? And then Chris Anson, quote, she's 2 days old, you sick bastard.
Instead of Data walking in, just Chris Anson, have a seat.
What are you doing here? No, please, have a seat at the bar. No, please.
She said to you, I'm 2 days old, and you said, that makes me hot.
What do you mean by that?
Or how about the guys that don't want to be on camera? They're like trying to hide themselves. It's like, bro, you're too late.
You're too late.
This is my favorite episode of the series. Don't misunderstand. There are countless other episodes which are more fun, exciting, or suspenseful bangers, if you will. But this episode transcends being a mere episode for me. The character of Lal is so believable that I find myself completely immersed in her journey. And no matter how many times I see this episode, my tears always flow freely at the end. The story is just so utterly beautiful. 100% agree, and I'm obviously not going to make that claim yet, but I totally get why it would be someone's favorite, just like I would understand last episode, yesterday's Enterprise, being people's favorite. If you're like me, and I think you as well, this one makes sense. It checks all my boxes.
Top tier Picard quote. Order a man to hand his child over to the state, not while I'm his captain. I was about to get up and punch the camera. I was so excited. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. I fucking love when Picard stands up for the crew.
Absolutely. How do you like Jonathan Frakes' direction? I don't think you all was expecting that. I was not.
I didn't think getting a pop for Jonathan Frakes in the credits would pop me that hard. But I mean, it's a different credit, obviously. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It was great. Everything was wonderful about it. The combination with the script and his direction of the scenes. And if he helped direct the actors, if he helped direct Haley Todd, I don't think you need to direct Brent Spiner. I think that guy just comes ready to go. And I loved it.
Yeah, and nothing was distracting or gimmicky, or he didn't try to be my first episode. Let's, it's like, no, it was just good.
Yeah, like he knows what's good on the show and what's bad, and I think he gave us a banger. This one's from, well, we got to bring this name up, especially with the name of the episode, Missing Uncle Lore.
Lore, he would be Uncle Lore.
Uncle Lore. Who's going to cry first, Josh or Alex? Well, here's the thing. I am stone cold sober right now, so maybe that has something to do. But I've cried sober before. But Josh only.
And Numinous 2019 said Alex is more openly emotional, so 50 pounds, I think, on Alex. Yeah, so you owe the lore, and I guess Alex wants it too.
No, me.
At 50
It goes to
pounds,
me. Yeah.
okay.
Why does it go to me and not you? I don't know.
I don't know, what do you think? I don't think you're more openly emotional. I think it's just the things that have happened have hit you harder, and I think this hit me harder, That's just going to happen. That's what it is. You get hit by the things you get hit by,
Yeah, it's not like you're hiding your emotions,
Yeah.
It's not like you're, you know what I mean? It's just, we both like, oh, that's emotion when we like,
True,
when we
yeah.
pop for Tasha Yar coming back, you know what I mean? So I've just reacted more sentimentally, I guess.
Yeah, I do think that we're probably people that know us but don't know us like super well, would probably sometimes describe both of us as, aloof or a bit, we're not super extroverted to people that we're just meeting or don't know that well. But to the people that really know us, I think they would say the exact opposite. I have 3 brothers, and my mom always tells me, I'm the sensitive one, I'm the emotional one, of my of the 4 sons. So, it's not that I'm like hiding it on purpose. It's just that I think a lot of times the most emotional people are the ones that seem a little bit more hard exterior at first, because we're not trying to be all out here emotional all the time. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, people think I'm an antisocial, negative, straight-faced dick. Like all times, like people at my job, like, oh, I thought you were an asshole, and then I started talking to you, like you're really, like, I just, like, you guys don't know this because I'm always yapping my mouth, but like, that's what I look like at all times, and people think I'm angry or mad, and it's like, no, I'm just not talking to you right now. I have nothing, you know what I mean?
I'm a dad of a young daughter. I find this one hits much harder now than previous viewings, and I totally understand that. I don't have kids, neither of us do that we know of, and I've always gone through life not wanting kids.
Same.
And yeah, there's a part of me that's like, meme, oh, kids are annoying, which is true. But also, the biggest part is fear. Like, I'm always terrified of the fact that I know for a fact, like, if I did have a kid, as soon as that thing's born, like, I'm going to love it more than anything else. And so many things in this world happen out of your control. And in this episode, I'll be honest, halfway through this episode, seeing Data, inspired by him, like, oh man, maybe I do want to be a father. Maybe I do want to have kids. But then this ending just reinforced that fear of, like, you never know, you can never, and I get it, you can say that about anything in life. I could die any day, like, you don't know anything. But it's like, that's always been what's most terrifying to me about having kids, is that so much is out of your control, that if that happened to me, like, I don't think I can handle it. I don't think I'm built for it, And it's like, I respect everyone who is, but I just don't know if I could do it. And I think this episode, unfortunately, it started to move my needle, and then it was like, oh yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, I've never wanted kids. Never do. I'm not that close with my dad, so it's nothing I don't want to be like that to my kid if that ever happened. I'd like to think I'd like to do better, but it's like, let's not take the risk. And plus, the negatives highly outweigh the positives of raising children, especially in this economy. Come on. Mm-hmm. And like, I feel like the annoying parts of having kids would outweigh the couple good moments. I'm such an asshole.
I think evolution, like, there's a switch in us, because we're not women. We don't have to bear it, and all that. So I think with men, it's like there's an evolution of like, oh, like, child, I protect. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
yeah,
our caveman brain, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like that feeling would last about an hour. And then it's like, right back to...
The baby would start crying.
Yeah.
And you'd go, all right.
That first night. All right.
with whoever, maybe, oh, Alex, get up.
I have to work tomorrow. All right. Jesus. Going to hell.
And then we'll end it here with John. We love to, if we can, end with a defector, per se. So in this case, John is the defector, meaning that so far, I think every take we've read has been positive. There have been some negative ones, but this is one that does not like the episode. So he says, I'm not a fan of this episode. It's one of the many tropes I really can't stand in episodic series. Your mileage may vary, probably will, but I am not a fan. Coming off episode 15, this was bound to be a letdown. So the tropes, I wish that he had gone name one or two examples so I can like combat it, because he might be right. I don't know. I don't know what trope specifically he means, but as far as coming off of episode 15, I think it's summed up best by what I said before after the reaction of like, what are you looking for with this show? And if it's not at all this, then I get it. But if someone wanted to say to me, like, this episode objectively isn't good because of this, this, and this, I would be very interested in that conversation, because I couldn't find any flaws with it from, like, a technical or show-making aspect. Mm-hmm. But if you're just not into it, you're not into it. And I wish people were more respective of that, of us, when it came to certain episodes. But they're not. So I'm not either, John.